Let's go to the Toms River Volkswagen Sports Hotline and welcome in former Phillies pitcher Tommy Greene. Good morning, T.D. Greene.
Good morning, Billy. Good to be on with you, my friend.
Well, I tell you, Tommy, man, the baseball season is off to a great start. The Phillies have rebounded nicely against the Washington Nationals. But before we get started on Phillies baseball, the last couple of days, how about all these pitchers coming down with elbow issues and our arch rival nemesis, the Atlanta Falcons ace Strider.
Atlanta Braves.
Atlanta Braves. Strider's out with a ulnar nerve problem. Could have Tommy John surgery.
Well, I tell you what, man. It's so sad to see. Those guys are, he's in the prime, of his career right now. A chance to do some really good things. You hate to see, even though it's your competition, you hate to see anybody get hurt, man. All you can ask for is your health, and that's what you work for. I was in that situation. I didn't have the elbow stuff. Mine was shoulder, but, you work your tail off to prepare yourself every year to be able to handle the pitch. And, as far as during the off season to come in ready, to be able to handle, and you continually build, in spring training to be able to handle the rigors, and it's just, it's not because of lack of effort. I know that. They're trying to make yourself healthy or keep yourself healthy. It's just, to me, I just think it's like going down to Vegas, man, and playing cards. It's just in the cards.
Roll the dice. Yeah, Tommy. So have you ever had shoulder surgery or elbow? You've had any?
Yes, I've had 3 shoulder surgeries, and
what was exactly wrong with you?
If the good Lord gave me a chance or gave me an opportunity, and He said, "Well, I'll give you a chance. Which one would you want? You got to have a major surgery. Which one would you want? To be able to come back from maybe a little bit. And I would pick hands down the elbow right now.
Really?
Because the shoulder, the shoulder I don't want nothing to do with, man. It's one of the toughest things to come back from. That's concerned, to be able to come back and possibly throw like you used to, and it's because all your power and stuff. It comes through that shoulder. You know what I mean? It's generated a lot from there. There's so many. It's so intricate there.
Tommy, we were talking earlier before you came on about pitchers and throwers. What's a difference between a pitcher and a thrower? Somebody just throws really hard, or someone like Jamie Moyer. We were saying he topped out at 88. We'll never see that again, right?
Well, there's guys that do it. Will they get the opportunity in the big leagues to do it? I still think there's guys out there that can pitch. With that type of stuff, and it's about commanding what you do and changing speeds, having good variance, or differentials in your pitches. If you throw a fastball 88, is your curveball or your off-speed pitch at 78? Is it 8 or 80? Is it 7 to 8? Is it 8 to 10 mile hours difference or more? To break the hitter's stride and timing. And that's what you're looking to do is to do that. But still, you got to command the ball. You got to pitch in. You got to pitch in off the plate. You got to come. You just can't. It's just like even though you throw hard, you can't live over the plate all the time.
Right.
Or they're going to get you. So that's just goes to show you. And the difference between the pitchers and throwers, as you said a while ago, was throwing is all you care about to me is. How hard you throw and how much spin you can put on it, and it's sort of like the devil with where it goes.
Right. Well, Tommy, let me ask you.
There's a time for that. Don't get me wrong. There's a time for that, but the high effort guys, that do this all the time. Those are the guys that tend to be more susceptible, I think, than that. Yeah.
Tommy, we're talking about former Phillies pitcher Tommy Greene, as we do every Sunday. We go on the mound with Tommy Greene, brought to you by Blitz's Markets. Tommy, what were your pitches like? What were your 3 pitches that you had in your
Well, I had 4. Mine was fast in this order: fast, slider, curve, change, and that was sort of like priority, And I could change. I could throw the slider. I could throw different speeds. I'd vary the speeds. I could jam it back, throw it slower. I could. Turn it into a little bit more of a cutter if I wanted to. But not that I used it as a cutter, but I could throw it harder. But That was like having another pitch too. I mean, because all you're looking is giving the hitter something else to think about. You want them to think about it a little bit. All you get is that doubt in the hitter's head. You got a little bit of advantage there. And especially if you're commanding what you're doing, you're hitting with your off-speed pitch, you're able to throw it for a strike. You just can't sit on one thing,
right.
And that's the thing. So
Tommy Glavine and Maddox, they didn't throw hard. And look how,
I mean, well, people see throughout they didn't end up throwing hard. And Maddox made a choice. He threw pretty good when he come up with the Cubs. He threw. He could throw it pretty good, but he made a decision. Hey, I'm pitching down because he had movement. It was about command. He wanted that command, and that's what he did. He threw pretty good, and then he stayed that way. And the old adage, if you don't use it, you lose it. It's a good thing. If you don't throw your fastball like that, that's why you see relievers, so to speak, come in ball games. They tend to throw harder.
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Well, because they're only throwing one inning.
Well, no, not just that. It's because when they're getting loose and doing what they're doing, they're throwing their fastball.
Right.
It's about getting loose and getting going and amping up and being able to handle that, being able to be effort guy, that high effort coming out. They have to get loose. You can't jack around down there and try to work on all your pitches. It's about getting loose. So they're geared to throw their fastball more often. They're throwing it more often, and the effort's there. That's why they tend to come out and throw, and obviously because of shorter stints, and so with the velocity change, that's why you see some guys kind of jump up a little bit if they go from starting to relieving. They tend to gain a couple to a few mile an hour or more. So, I mean, there's a process. I know I went through it a little bit, and I know what relieving helped me with when I didn't relieve until I got in the big leagues. And I know what it helped me with was my mentality. The mentality helped me of relieving, helped me carry over into starting. I didn't let off the gas. Not that I went max effort every pitch I threw or anything like that, but the mental, not getting caught. Not let yourself relax too much. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. That type of thing. It helped me be more aggressive. And that don't mean you can be aggressive with a changeup. Be aggressive with off-speed pitch. It's just the mentality of doing things, commitment. And that adds into everything too. So,
Tommy, talking about pitchers' injuries just a little bit more. Taijuan Walker started the season on the IL, meaning Spencer Turnbull had to slide into that fifth starter spot immediately. He made his first start in a Phillies uniform on Tuesday against the Reds, and it was very impressive, honestly. I don't know what I was expecting. I don't think it was that. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, not earned, 7 strikeouts on 83 pitches. What did you see from Spencer Turnbull, and do you think this is a thing we could see from him consistently this season?
Well, you're hoping that. And the thing you like to see is the command he had right off the bat.
Right.
He didn't walk anybody. He didn't give the freebies up, and he made them do things. Look at he punched out 7. So he had pretty good stuff going on. So it was a very impressive outing. And that's what you're looking for, a guy to step in, this next man up type thing. They got some decisions to make, and if he keeps this up type thing, what do they do?
Right.
Just because they're paying Walker a lot of money, they got to make sure he's right, before they bring him back. If this guy keeps pitching like this, that's one outing, So we got to see what he does, and that type of thing. But that's the thing about baseball. That's how guys get the next opportunity. I know that's the way I got mine. When I got traded over, it's you got to stick your foot in the door and don't let it shut. And that's what Turnbull's trying to do. So
we're talking with former Phillies pitcher Tommy Greene, as we do each and every Sunday throughout the baseball season. Today we got Christopher Sanchez against Mackenzie Gore. Opportunity to sweep. You always like to have a sweep, and I got to tell you, I don't know if you watched the game yesterday, Tommy, but Philly fans seemed to dominate that ballpark. They were all down there in mass, and which is good to see. As a player, you gotta love that, right?
Well, Philly fans have always traveled pretty good, So it's good, especially when you got the rivalry right down the road, man. You got to love it going down there in somebody else's ballpark and make yourself heard a little bit, But I'm sort of. I mean, this game's got me a little curious because I got obviously the Phillies. I'm rooting for my boys, but I got a guy that's pitching for the Nationals that's from my high school.
Mackenzie
Gore. Yeah, Mackenzie Gore's from my high school. As a matter of fact, I kind of worked with him one time. My high school coach had a little AAU team, and he had him. And I went down there. I was down there one time when he was like 12 or something, and I was. My coach wanted me to see him throw and kind of mess with him or work with him if I see anything a little bit. So I got a chance to meet him when he was a kid, So
you're pulling for the Phillies, but you want to see him You want to see him pitch well.
Well, I'd like to see the old homeboy do good, but the bottom line, we win. I'm all about a well-pitched ball game.
Yeah.
So
all right. Well, talk to us about Christopher. Talk to us about Christopher Sanchez. He had a pretty good outing. I mean, his ERA in the early going is 3.60, and he had 8 Ks, and he's. I'll tell you what, man, he's a guy that can surprise people this year.
I don't think he gets enough credit.
I don't think he does either. I think he's under the radar.
Well, I mean, it's because and this year I think he's kind of gained a little bit of velocity, but I mean, he's a pitcher, man. I mean, what he showed last year, it wasn't no fluke. He's got the repertoire to do some things and keep guys off stride. And he's got enough fastball right there you got to respect it a little bit because I mean, look at it. He missed some bats last time for his first time out. So. Anytime you come out and you're punching out more innings than you pitch, that's pretty good. If he can keep that up, man, that's 4 solid guys you got there. If everybody starts clicking, they don't have to be great. If they start clicking pretty good, man, that means you got a chance every night to win ball games, and that's all you're looking for.
Right, Tommy. Last question, at least from me. Before first pitch yesterday, about an hour before first pitch, the Phillies announced they have traded Connor Brogdon to the Los Angeles Dodgers in exchange for Benoni Robles. Just take me through what you think went wrong for him. I mean, just 2 years ago, he was striking out the likenesses of Yordan Alvarez and Kyle Tucker in the World Series and really showed success, and now he can't even get a spot on the Phillies' Major League roster, obviously now with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Where do you think it went wrong with him, and do you think this trade was more so just to benefit Brogdon and give him a change of scenery?
Well, I mean, I know when we first saw him come up, he threw. Velocity-wise, he was good, to do things, and it's of recent past, the last year and a half or so, it's been like he went like totally the opposite way. I don't know if he had an injury or something that we really didn't know about, that he lost a little bit off his fastball, but he started throwing change-up after change-up after change-up after change. I mean, it was like he didn't throw his fastball anymore.
Yeah.
It's sort of like it was. If you look back at it, it sort of reminded me of last year when they brought Kirkering up. Mm-hmm. Got those upper 90s, and they're throwing slider after slider after slider after slider because he's got a good one, but that don't mean you can't throw your heater.
Right.
You command what you do, So to me, that was, just by being a bystander that used to play or a guy who used to play, and I look back at it, I said, man, this guy had pretty good stuff, and he commanded it pretty good. And he had good years. Some good times for us there at one time. And I was like, all of a sudden he went the other way, which makes me think, okay, was he having a little bit of health issue and that he was relying on? Because he's got a great change. He's got a good changeup, but you can't – it's hard to live off that. There ain't been a couple guys that I've seen that really live off changeups, and obviously that was, Trevor Hoffman reinvented himself.
Yeah.
And then Doug Jones back in the day. So those guys had Bugs Bunny change-ups, so it's just a different type.
It seemed like even when Brogdon threw his fastball, like, for example, the grand slam he led up to Spencer Steer in the Red Series, he threw him a fastball away there, but it seems like he lacks confidence in it, and he obviously doesn't have the velocity he once had. It goes into the stands for a grand slam to win them the game.
I think it's a confidence
Well,
thing.
I thought he missed over the plate too much. It all comes down to command, and it's the thing about relieving, you don't have time to come in here and settle in. You got to be ready. You got to be locked in.
He had a ghost runner on base already.
There.
Yeah.
You got to be, ready to go, and you got time. Some innings you have to battle through. Sometimes it's there, and that's the type of thing. That's why you see some guys struggle in the first innings and stuff like that. Look at Glavine back in the day. Not that he threw hard or anything, but he was notorious for giving up runs in the first inning. So if you didn't get him early, and he got locked in. It was lights out. He started commanding what he did better. I mean, but the key to it, anything, Brogdon. Sometimes a change of scenery is a good thing.
Yeah. I think that's definitely what it was. He needed to just get out. And, all right, Tommy Greene, we got to run. But listen, I'll be talking to you during the week. Let's get a Phillies win today. And I just think that this team, obviously with what's going on with the Braves, this NL East is wide open. It's anybody's ball game.
Yeah. Well, if we pitch like we did this past 7 days, these last 6 games, and we can turn on the bats a little bit. We're not hitting like we're capable of at all.
It's still cold.
We're not scoring the runs. We're leaving too many on base. We're not getting none on base. We have little streaks where we score a few runs and that's it. So we're not seeing the guys like we're capable of. So, if we could keep our head above water right there, when they get hot, they're going to do some damage.
All right, Tommy Greene, as always, we appreciate you, and we look forward to talking to you. You're not going to be with us next week, right?
I have to check. We have to talk about that. I got to look.
Yeah, I'll talk to you during the week, but if not, we'll talk to you again, and have a great rest of your weekend.
All right, Bill.
There he is, Tommy Greene. We go every Sunday throughout the baseball season. We go on the mound with former Phillies pitcher Tommy Greene.